Posloucháte AtTalks, podcast magazínu Edbars.com o barové kultuře. Dnešním tématem jsou cizinci za barem v Česku. Já jsem Michael Lapčík a se mnou je tady head bartender ze vznikajícího W Prague Hotel Benjamin Boulton-Smith. Hi Ben.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Partnerem našeho podcastu je značka Johnnie Walker. Děkujeme a keep walking. No a protože se dneska bavíme o cizincích, tak si to dáme v nějaké komunikativní formě angličtiny a uvidíme, jak to půjde. So Ben, my first question is obvious. Why Czech Republic? Why did you choose this country? What brought you here?
My parents moved here when I was 15, so they shipped me off to boarding school in the UK, and I would come here every few weeks during half term or something for a little holiday. And then when I finished school, I decided to move here. And then, my parents left me here. So that's why I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
In basics, it wasn't your decision.
It wasn't my decision. No. Yeah, my parents sort of were transferred here with work. So that's why they originally decided to move to Prague. Before they came here, I didn't know where Prague was, to be honest with you.
And can I ask which kind of work of your parents was it?
My dad is also involved in hospitality.
Okay.
Yeah, he is a GM of hotels.
Okay.
At the moment, he's out in Cairo.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So Ben, which officialities, government administration, do you have to deal with if you want to live and work in the Czech Republic?
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure because I've been working for Marriott Hotels, which is pretty international. So their sort of HR department, when I first moved here, looked after me and getting sort of my residency card, which was temporary residency, sorted out, as well as insurance through work, which is what I understand you need to have here. So I have a temporary residency and insurance through VZP. And I think that's about it that I know of. So hopefully don't get me in trouble if I don't know something.
Yeah, so they are helpful
yes.
for you.
Yeah. They basically did everything for me so that I could just sit there and wait, basically, and turn up to the meetings when I needed to be there. But other than that, I'm not 100% sure what else you need to be here. When I moved here, it was before Brexit.
Yeah.
So we had the freedom of movement. So we came there and then we Brexited. So I had to quickly go and get my residency card.
Yeah.
So that they didn't kick me out the country.
Yeah.
But,
so now it's a disadvantage that UK is not included.
Yes, it would be, especially for those who want to move abroad. Myself, I'm okay until 2029 because before they changed the rules, it was like 10 years temporary residency, whereas now it's more like 2 years, I think, for British people coming across to Prague. So for me, I'm okay until 2029. And then I will have the issues, I'm sure.
Is there still a language barrier in the Czech Republic, or can you speak English everywhere you need on a public?
I've not struggled with it at all, to be honest with you. My Czech, I cannot hear it. I cannot speak it. I really struggle with trying to pick up the language. So I know very few phrases, but if I go like to the pub or to a bar or something, or even to a supermarket, and they start speaking to me in Czech and they sort of see my confused face and they sort of switch and they're like, okay, you probably speak English. And then I don't really have a problem. But if I go somewhere like really local, like a proper Czech Pilsner pub or something, then yeah, sometimes it can be a bit harder, but it's a pub, you point at a menu and it's okay. So I really haven't struggled so much with the language barrier. Some Czechs do not understand my sarcasm. That is one thing I think that maybe is lost in translation. But other than the odd place, I don't really have an issue or a problem with the language.
Okay, so not so big issue.
No, not really, especially since I moved here. In 2015, when we first moved here, me and my mum, we would go to Billa in Vinohrady, and we would struggle because we didn't know the numbers. They didn't know how to translate the numbers into English, so we would really have struggle if we couldn't find something. Every time I've come back, it's got easier and easier in terms of people speaking English, and now it's almost like most people are in Prague speak English, so I definitely don't really have a problem.
And what about outside Prague? Are you traveling around the Czech Republic?
I've been to Brno and Pilsen a couple of times, but they were mainly for sports events. So again, I didn't really have the issue, especially in where we were staying. I was mainly staying in Marriott's as well, which again, everyone speaks English. So I haven't really had the issue with it. But like places like Karlstein Castle or something, we went for the tour around there. Didn't understand anything. That was all in Czech. So, but it's a beautiful place to go and visit. So we enjoyed it anyway.
Yeah, it's very nice. You said some sport events. So
Yes.
are you some sport fan? What
I am involved with an expat-run cricket league. So I play for Vinohrady Cricket Club. And there's 3 or 4 teams in Prague, 1 in Pilsen, and then a couple in Brno, I think. So I've travelled once down to Brno for the cricket match, and then we stayed out after in Brno. So we stayed there for a night, and then Pilsen I went obviously for the Pilsner brewery. So we had some fun over there as well.
Yeah. Did you like Pilsner brewery?
Yeah, of course. I like beer. You can't really go wrong with it.
Maybe let's focus this question on your work. What about communication with your guests or colleagues or education workshops or bartender competitions, or when the ingredients delivery to your bar arrives or some guy is going to configure the POS? Are there any difficulties with the barrier?
So for the last 5 years, I've been working in the Marriott Hotel, which in terms of guests, mostly are American. We do host mainly American guests that stay with us. So 9 times out of 10, people in the bar are speaking English anyway. And then there's that one that will be Czech that will come in and half the time can switch to English anyway, or I can find one of my colleagues. Like on shift, we will always have at least one person that speaks Czech, so we can manage and get by with it. In terms of like operations and stuff, when we order alcohol in, we had like a store manager who is Czech, speaks English. He deals with it mainly. I deal with, I would order through him. He would then order with suppliers, and he would do all the communications in Czech and then switch to English to help me with that. So I didn't really have an issue with that one. In terms of masterclasses, I've been to a few which have been in Czech. Some of those you have to understand, you are like one of few English only speaking guests in that room. So I completely understand that the masterclass is in Czech. It's, you're in Prague, it's for the Czech community. So mainly it's, I'll be with someone who speaks Czech, and they will basically translate, whisper in my ear and sort of dumb it down for me so that I can understand the processes. But otherwise, I haven't been like excluded from anything because I only speak English. Like I've entered a couple of competitions over the last 2 years, and they've all been very accommodating to English speaking people. So I've gotten away with it. I've gotten away with not learning Czech so far. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of friends who are whispering to your ears?
Yeah. In these ones, for sort of these master classes, I mean, the bar community is so welcoming. So I've managed to make a couple of friends, and when you turn up to the master class, it's like, go sit over there with the English understanding guys.
Is there anything you were used to in your country that you really miss in the Czech Republic?
No, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I moved here when I was 15, so I wouldn't say there's anything I really miss about living in the UK. I grew up in a very small town, so it's very different to living here, and I think here is actually easier almost. It's more accessible to do things and have fun, so I wouldn't say so.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Or in opposite, something that you appreciate in comparison to UK in the Czech Republic?
Something I prefer, or like, I love how cheap the beer is here. I'm sure everyone will say it as a foreigner coming here, but the beer is so good and it's so cheap. And in the UK, you sort of have to find those pubs which are like Wetherspoons. They are student, like, aimed pubs for the younger students who are on obviously a lower income, so the prices are much lower. But that's like the standard for here, for everywhere here. You know, you go here and you buy a beer, you know, you pay what, 70 crowns, 80 crowns. You come to my bar in the Marriott, you're getting ripped off for 145 crowns because we're paying hotel prices, right? But in the UK, you know, you're minimum looking at £6-7 starting prices for the beers, and then it just goes up and up and up. So I would definitely say I prefer the beers here to over there. And just like public transport and stuff, how easy it is to get around the city here. You know, you jump on the metro, you're on it for half an hour, 45 minutes, and you're on the other side of the city. You know, you get on the underground in London, you go 45 minutes, you've just got out down your road, sort of thing. So it's very different, but there are similarities that, you know, that can be factors in wanting to move here and stay here, to be honest with you.
How do you see the Czech bartending community? Do you think it is specific in any way, or?
I wouldn't say so, no. I am recently trying to break into that community, having entered a couple competitions last year and working with the guys at the W. They're all really nice, very welcoming people. We all sort of jump from bar to bar, and everyone, you know, you at least know one person because you've either competed against them or you've been served by them at some event, or you've had a masterclass with them somewhere. So it's all very welcoming, and it's warm community over here, especially compared to where I grew up in the UK. Is, you know, there was 13 pubs. You didn't have this sort of cocktail community where people were competing, and you didn't really have that where I grew up. So it's very different, and it's, yeah, as I said, it's really warm and welcoming.
Okay. And what about drinking culture and bar culture? Is it different from UK and maybe the whole gastronomy?
I would just say it's on a larger scale, because where I grew up, the population of the town where I grew up was about 10,000 people. You know, you get more people in the Sparta football stadium than my entire town. So It's on a much larger scale. Me personally, I don't think it's too different in terms of the drinking culture, your beers, etc. You know, you can't go wrong with it. And yeah, I wouldn't say it's too different.
Maybe London is the capital of the cocktail, isn't it?
It definitely was. I'm not so sure it is anymore, because there are a lot of bars up in Leeds and Manchester and Edinburgh that are sort of taking over now, and really sort of, you know, they're winning awards and stuff for their cocktail menus and stuff. So London was for sure up there. I'm sure it still is. I may be wrong. But yeah, there are definitely other cities, that are starting to catch up and move away from your traditional, you know, white jacket cocktail bars. So they're more classic or tiki and more fun-based, sort of loose experience type bars. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Can Prague bars and other Czech cities bars level London and Manchester?
100%.
Really?
Definitely, yeah. I would say they're catching up, if not on the same level already. I would just say, again, it's the scale. Here you don't have as many. You know, there are a lot, but in comparison to London, where it's a city much bigger than here, it's, you know, it's scale. It's much bigger over there. So I feel like it'll come, and in you know, in the coming years, it will definitely probably overtake London as well.
And are you traveling back to UK and trying some bars?
Not very often.
Huh?
I think I go back like once a year to visit with family and stuff. And I have family all over the UK. They're all spread out, so it's like one night here, and I don't so much have the time to jump around in all the bars and see the competition, as to speak. But it's I don't have any plans to either. I go back, I visit my friends, and we have a good time.
Only once a year, on Christmas.
Not even at Christmas, you know. I'm working in a bar, so I don't get Christmas off. So it's usually beginning of the year, March, May time. My family are all flying over actually next month. My parents based in Cairo, my brother's based in Leeds, my sister's based in London. So for this next meeting, as to speak, our yearly meetup, we will be celebrating my parents' anniversary, my dad's birthday, my mum's birthday from last year, my brother's birthday from last year, my sister's birthday from last year, my birthday tomorrow, my girlfriend's birthday, and my girlfriend's graduation. So
congratulations.
Basically, like a year's worth of events. We're going to catch up in a couple of days.
What a great celebration. Yeah, really big.
that'll be a fun one, for sure.
Were you surprised by some of the typical local Czech ingredients when you started here? Let's say slivovice or becherovka?
Yes, to put it, yes. I mean, my first job behind the bar, I was 18, was in Prague. And the first thing they basically made me do was try everything. And, you know, that is your slivovice, your becherovkas, and I wouldn't say I was surprised because I didn't know any better before, because, you know, I've just turned 18. I'm just starting to drink and stuff. So I knew your vodka, your gin, your rum, but your slivovice, that was different. Let's say that was very different. And I wasn't such a great fan of slivovice until I went to this Czech bar on EP Pavlova. And the waiter in there, he made his own slivovice. And I've never heard of this been done before at the time. And they gave us a couple taster, and it was like rocket fuel. Like you had a sip of it and you felt it down your throat into your lungs almost, that it was some strong stuff. But that sort of turned me onto it a bit, actually. I could enjoy it a bit more after I had that one. And the egg liqueur that comes around at Christmas, that's some good stuff. I like that.
Perfect. Can you make some cocktail from slivovice?
Yes, I can. I will be having, off the top of my head, I can't remember the exact recipe, but there is some slivovice and some becherovka in the menu for W coming up soon.
Great.
Yeah.
By the way, when it will start, this new project?
We are aiming to open around September. As I know, we have been delayed, but not 100% sure. I'm still waiting on the information. We're all just sort of cracking on with the pre-opening stuff, but we're aiming for September time to open it. Yeah.
Okay, I see. And what about your life outside the bar? Do you have a good life?
Yeah,
in Prague?
Of course. Yeah, we have some fun. Me and my girlfriend, we moved in 2 years ago or so, and yeah, we have a nice social life here. We were playing golf over the weekend, and yeah, we enjoy Prague. We like to travel a lot, so anytime that we have some days off, jump on a train, jump on a bus or a short flight, and we'll go to some neighboring countries. Like we've been to Munich, we've been to Dresden, Cairo, Thailand, of course, Vienna, Budapest. So we're always looking to try go somewhere else and see what's next.
Is there anything difficult for you about living in the Czech Republic that you would like to change?
Off the top of my head, not really. Maybe my girlfriend's visa situation. That would be nice to help out with, if that was a bit easier. But other than that, I wouldn't say so. That I can think off the top of my head, no. I don't really have any difficulties, but I know she's had a lot of difficulties with the foreign police and studying all that sort of stuff. So,
okay,
not so much for me, but for her, it would probably. I can think of a few.
And what about your future Do you want to stay or maybe travel around the globe?
I, of course, would like to travel more. I like to travel and see new places, so of course we'd love to travel more. I mean, my future here, when I first moved here, after finishing school, I planned on being here for only 6 months. And obviously that didn't quite work out. I've been here 5 years now, so I don't really want to speak too much on the future because I'm not so sure. Maybe. We'll see. Who knows? I can end up living here or I can move somewhere else. We'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was Ben Boulton-Smith in the AtTalks podcast. Ben, thank you so much for coming.
Of course.
And I wish you the best.
Thank you very much.
No a na vás se budu těšit zase u dalšího dílu AtTalks. Ahoj.